trades that happened, which is kind of crazy because, I think the Luka and AD one set off all these other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Once people seen that, people started panicking. Because now Zach LaVine is with the Kings.
Yeah.
Fox, who wanted to go with the Spurs, and remember we talked about Mike Brown getting fired, which I thought was garbage. Straight up and down. Because he held who? De'Aaron Fox accountable. De'Aaron Fox said he wasn't going to re-sign with them, even though they got rid of Mike Brown, and they're still paying Mike Brown. They're still paying him, people. And he said, I want to go to the Spurs. And where did they send him? The Spurs. So, NBA, here's a good lesson in not allowing these players to really control everything. You got to give them some control, and I'm not a big fan of the NFL, but the NFL don't play these games, man. Yeah, people complain and, I want to get traded and they get fined, they get all this stuff. I don't see De'Aaron Fox get any fines. You know what I got De'Aaron Fox see? What I see De'Aaron Fox get? He got rewarded. Coach fired, traded.
He got what he wanted.
You know what I mean? Yes, the Sacramento Kings are playing better underneath Doug Christie because he's a player, but Mike Brown was just your coach of the year last year. You know what I mean? Anyways, you have anything you want to say before we run these clips?
I'll run the clip and then I'll go.
All right, run the first one, Brody.
How did this thing come up with De'Aaron Fox actually getting his preferred destination of San Antonio? How did he make that happen?
Yeah, about 5 days ago, I reported that the Sacramento Kings were now open to listening to trade offers on De'Aaron Fox going into the NBA trade deadline. And he lands exactly where that one targeted destination was for De'Aaron Fox. And a lot of it is because the Kings and Fox's agent, Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, they had some candid conversations over the last several weeks, the last several months. And this was the Kings getting out ahead of what was essentially going to be inevitable this offseason, which was a trade of De'Aaron Fox out of Sacramento. He was not willing, as of now, to sign long-term with the Kings. There were real concerns about his future there. And for them, the moment that they could figure out a trade, get out ahead of it, they did that. They get Zach LaVine, an all-star player, having a great bounce-back season. 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks.
Yeah.
And for the Spurs, the moment this guy becomes available, you can pair him with Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama wants the front office, Brian Wright, their general manager, to make decisions on their own. R.C. Buford, Greg Popovich, and their organization. But there's one thing that gives the Spurs organization pressure on a daily basis. That isn't Victor Wembanyama vocally. That's his play on the court. And how great he's been. How do we supply him with the resources? It becomes a
win now situation.
Yeah, how do you maximize that potential in a short window because you don't know how long your window is?
Yet again, we see the Spurs being the Spurs. I can never hit on that organization in any way other than the whole load management thing that they started, and other people took and ran with it. Other than that, that has been a solid franchise who's respected their players, their coaching staff, everybody on the board. And if you don't believe me, Steve Kerr said it.
His preparation is so detail-oriented. So everything has been meticulously planned leading up to today. We've had coaches meetings the last couple of days. We've had last month in San Antonio. So everything has been tuned and dialed, and he's still got it. I mean, Pop is just an incredible coach, an amazing teacher, and organizer, and leader. So it's fun to be part of.
We see, how long has Greg Popovich been coaching there for?
I don't know.
Very long time, huh? Almost as long as Mike Tomlin for the.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They are the Pittsburgh Steelers of the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs.
So, hey, all these leagues, you see these two teams, even though they're not at the success that they once were at. You see what happens when you allow people to build? You get great quality, great product. If you just step the hell out the way, owner, and let the people you hire to do the job do their job. Yeah? Cool. Anyways, this is a good shot for Victor because Chris Paul's done after this year. If they bring him back again or he finds somewhere, claps and coolers for him. For Chris Paul, from one old man to another, you're washed. Okay? You're done. You're cooked.
Strong words, bro. Strong words.
Hey, listen,
Mm,
I'm
mm.
just being honest. I'm not talking about him as a person. I'm talking about him as a basketball player. He is no longer effective as he was 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
You don't think he's still effective?
He's not Jason Kidd. He's not Jason Kidd.
I think Chris Paul. I think the reason why they where they are right now is between Chris Paul and Wembyana. I think Chris Paul
Listen,
is there generally leading the floor, and if he wasn't there, I don't think it would be what it is.
he's
Uh,
helped Wimby grow as a
yeah,
player,
he's a
but
leader too.
his placement as anything other than a role player, that's where it is. That's where it ends.
So you tell me right now, you got Darren Fox. You wouldn't move Darren Fox to the shooting guard position and let Chris Paul, because right now it's less for him to do if he has Darren Fox at the shooting guard position.
Yeah, but he's still injury prone. How long do you think he's gonna be able to hold up?
Well, yeah, I mean you can try it. If he gets injured, then you have a backup Darren Fox to switch him to the point guard. But Darren Fox at the shooting guard role is dangerous.
It is, but remember, they're probably going to end up signing Fox this summer. So it's the Fox and Wemby show. There's no room for
Yeah,
Chris.
that's for the future. But I'm saying right now, if you once you has Chris Paul at the moment, then yeah,
Yeah,
why not?
I'm not saying they're not going to try it out. I'm just saying after
Mm.
this year, Chris Paul, like, do we need you?
Yeah, but I think Wemby and Fox is pretty scary though, because Fox does
Yeah,
he does a
and
lot of things.
no, but that's a great thing though. But remember, Fox can still be a distributor.
Yeah, he
You know what
can.
I
Like
mean?
I said, he does everything, defense, all of that stuff,
Exactly. While
and
Chris
he's a
Paul
big.
lacks in some of those things now
Oh,
because
he
he's
lacks in a
older,
lot. Yeah, yeah.
But I have a
right?
question though. I have a question for both of you. If Chris Paul is a role player, wouldn't it be good to keep him for the regular season, have him play point guard for the regular season, move De'Aaron Fox to the shooting guard position, and then when the playoffs come, move Chris Paul out and then move him to point guard because you know that he's injury prone, especially when it comes to playoffs?
That would just mess up the chemistry. I think
I was about to say
that
it.
would mess up the flow and the chemistry. Yeah,
You
I
want
would say bring if you wanted now to have Chris Paul come off the bench, that would be a great backup for the second unit. That's a
and
great.
Chris Paul's got to be willing to take that.
Well, yeah, he should take that now. What the
Hey,
hell are
hey,
you
hey,
talking
hey,
about?
hey, hey,
You
hey,
ain't
hey.
that caliber.
Da Vinci, Da Vinci, don't make me have to have my brother pull up the Carmelo Anthony clip.
How do you feel about starting at the four, or the concept of starting at the four, or even coming off the bench? And the second question is,
Who, me?
Oh. I guess that answers that part.
I mean, I don't know where that started, where that came from. Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yet again, I have to keep reminding people, especially these superstars in the dwindling years of their career, coming off the bench is not a bad thing. I just said it if Russ wasn't the problem in the Lakers segment.
Nope.
Okay, Russ, the minute he left the Lakers, coming off the bench, all of a sudden it started working for him, especially with Denver, right? Because he had Joker.
Not just Russ, but you can name a few other players too. The same thing. As soon as they leave my Lakers, bro. Whoa, I'm not gonna say anything else. If you know, you know.
Oh, listen, you ain't gonna say that Mills has been getting after Sly every chance he gets.
If you know, you know. Every player, right? Listen, let me back you up on your argument. Yeah, Westbrook, man, he went to first before Denver. He went to the Clippers. Great basketball for them.
Yeah.
Great basketball. I thought they would have signed him back, right? But they didn't. So he went to Denver now and has become him and Jokic has become like two of the best two-man game in the league right now, if not the
Triple
best.
doubles.
Yeah.
2 games, both players triple doubles.
As soon as they gave Russ a bigger role on that team, look what they start winning. Before that, they were like everybody was like, what's wrong with Denver? What's wrong with Denver?
Well,
Right?
that and also I think his role was defined more in Denver than it was with the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even with the Clippers, his role was defined more. So it
Yeah.
allowed him to just be. Sly brought up a great point where if he has to overthink what's going on, that's where the turnovers, the erratic shots, you know what I mean? Like the clumsiness or clunkiness of his game starts to show up. When he's
Yeah,
able to just know, give me the ball, let's go. Everybody's on the same page. You know what I mean? Russ is gonna
Mike
cook
Malone let Russ be Russ. That's what he did, and that's where you're gonna get the most of the Russ. Let him be Russ.
for sure, for sure. We've got some more clips, so you want to run the next one, bro?
Victor Wembanyama already early in his career has pretty much showed us he's been frustrated at times this year when they haven't won games. It feels like that timeline has advanced. He wants to win now.
He does, and he should. He's that kind of player. He's probably the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. The Spurs have been very patient. We know the historic run they were on under the leadership of R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich, 2 decades in the playoffs every single year. That streak was snapped 4 or 5 years ago, and they haven't been back to the playoffs since. So this has kind of been uncharted waters in San Antonio. But now with an emergent star in the front court in Victor Wembanyama, with De'Aaron Fox, one of the fastest and most explosive guards in the league in the backcourt, and then by retaining their complementary pieces, I really like the fit on the wing with Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, who are able to hang on to. So this is a team that's right on the cusp of the play-in the Western Conference. We know it's pretty bunched in that 6 to 11 or 12 range in the West, but the Spurs are right there, and this sends a message to Victor Wembanyama in particular, that they're not going to wait anymore, that they're pushing some of their chips into the center of the table to try to get into the play-in or hopefully the playoffs this year, but also they retain enough assets and flexibility to build around Victor and Fox going forward.
So yet again, right? When I mentioned the Steelers, I mentioned the Spurs. They're organizations who have a plan and attempt to execute it on all levels with all individuals. If they realize it's a team sport, not just on the court, but off the court. You know what I mean? And yet again, for Wemby, hey, if you get the defensive player of the year, I ain't gonna be mad at it. I still think it's Jared Jackson. That's my personal opinion, because he's still been cooking, especially with Ja being in and out of the lineup, where he's, his role's been elevated, and then he's been put back to where he's supposed to fit in. I still give it to him on that, but them getting De'Aaron Fox is a great thing. Go ahead, Da Vinci, because it seemed like you got something you want to get off.
No. I was gonna agree with you. Wemby or Jackson, fine with me. That's as long as it's not
Gobert.
You Gobert. Yeah, those guys actually play defense. At the definition of defense, they actually do. So yeah, but yeah. Listen, De'Aaron Fox, they pretty much got him for a steal, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a win. It's a win for. It's a win. I think Chicago lost big. Chicago came out of this as a big loser. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
no, it's because they didn't want to pay Zach. His
Well,
contract, right? They had to move him.
You should at least got something back or a young potential talent for him or something.
They're throwing their thing in the trash. Like, don't be surprised if, and I'm praying. Lonzo to Charlotte or Lonzo to my Warriors. Period, said and done. Those are the only 2 places I want to see Lonzo go. And personally, I'd prefer him to go to the Warriors, because him and Curry, oh my God. Talk about push your dream out the door nice and easy. Oh, I love it. Because Lonzo does play defense. And he is a pass first point guard, which now puts Steph Curry back at shooting guard, which guess what? He gets to get the cooking again. And I believe that Lonzo would flourish in that Golden State Warriors system. That's just me, though.
King, I applaud you for always sticking by your boy and being a Lonzo fan since day one. I applaud you for that.
Thank you, sir.
I applaud you for that. I think Zach LaVine on the Sacramento Kings, him and Monk in the front court there. Yeah, Sabonis, yet again, I don't understand why you do what you do and still is not an all-star. Is mind-blowing to me.
Yet again, sorry for
You
cutting
and
off. I
Fox.
just want to state this.
Yeah.
If they're going to let the fans vote, make the fans vote count. Because Melo should have been in there too.
Melo should have been a starter, or Melo should have been a starter. Doesn't make
Him
sense.
and
He had
Sabonis.
the most votes.
Him and Sabonis.
Like I said, Sabonis should have been a reserve, but Melo should have been a starter because he has the most votes. So nothing against Bronson, but if that's what it comes down to fan votes, then Melo should have been in there, right? So I don't. You know what? But here's the thing: is though I'm sick and tired of it. And the simple thing to do for the NBA was to extend the All-Star list. Like,
You know what, Vinci? I won't even go that far. Make the All Stars actually All Stars. There's some questionable people
but
out there.
it's too hard for them, King, for some reason. It's too
Too
much
hard.
politics. Too much politics.
Okay, yeah,
You're gonna
sorry.
tell
We
me?
talk about the trade. Let's leave this for a different segment. Because
Okay.
trust me, we're gonna the viewers are gonna come in and be like, hold on, weren't they just talking about the trade novels that they went off? Yeah.
Man, fans, we're just passionate about basketball, so you can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Zach Levine, because Zach Levine, man, he's explosive, man. I thought he should have went to the Warriors. I've always thought the Warriors could use some athletic slasher, something like him. But I think he's gonna be good in Sacramento. Him, Monk, Debo, Sabonis. I mean, Murray. That's a good team, right? Got Doug Christie now. Seems to be a good coach for them.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think they win. Chicago lose. As for now, Lakers lose. Mavericks, San Antonio are winners.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You want to run the Zach Levine clip real quick, bro?
I think this move does enough for DeMar to be like, okay, I can settle in. I'm good with Zach Levine joining us.
Well, I like the talent on Sacramento's end. I do have some questions about the fit. Zach Levine, DeMar DeRozan, and Malik Monk, who's been sixth man of the year. They're all score first guys. That's a lot of offensive firepower, but we'll need to figure out who's going to distribute the ball. I'm interested to see if Domantas Sabonis even takes on more of a playmaking role from the front court. He's certainly capable of doing some of that, but those players are a little bit duplicative. I think more than anything else, guys, Sacramento's goal was to stay competitive. They did not want to just have a bunch of prospects and future draft picks. This is a team that's patiently been trying to climb the ladder in the Western Conference for 2 decades now. They finally broke through a few years ago when they were the 4th seed, lost to the Golden State Warriors in the first round of the playoffs, but they don't want to go all the way back to the bottom and then have a multi-year rebuild. So I do like it from a talent perspective. We'll see how the fit works out, but once De'Aaron Fox made it clear to Sacramento that he wasn't going to re-sign, the Kings started working the phone, and I think this is probably the best they could do as far as the combination of a player who can help them stay competitive now in Zach Levine and some picks going forward, including an unprotected first from Minnesota in 2031 that has a chance, to be a high upside pick, depending on how the Timberwolves look 6 or 7 years from now.
The Kings are at 9th. The Spurs are at 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
So with the Kings, we already discussed the plays that they have. He mentioned a few of them. The fit. The Kings can make a push still with having Zach. I don't know how they run it because it is true. Like, who's their point guard? It almost would have made more sense for the Kings to get Lonzo and Levine.
It would have made sense for them to try to get Chris Paul in the package.
Yeah, that too. Either one of those.
Because you don't, if you got a team like that, you don't need too much from Chris Paul. You just need him to control the flow of the game. That's it.
That's very true. That's very true. And then yet again for the Spurs, they can make a push to get into the play-in. There's still a lot of games left. It's possible for them, but and all in all, I think the only team that lost so far would have to be the Bulls.
Yeah.
They got absolutely almost butt kissed.
Nothing.
But part of it was Zach Levine was playing good this year, and they knew that they just didn't want to pay him no more. You know what I mean? They're doing a cleanup. Like don't be surprised if Vucci Man and my boy Lonzo end up somewhere else by the end of or by the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of time left for the trade deadline, but
yeah. I mean, like Vucci just should go to a team that needs a big, real bad. I think the Warriors could use him. Just like you said, bro. The Spurs upgraded a lot with this trade. I think the Sacramento Kings they upgraded too. Like we said, they just don't. It's gonna be hard to see how they come out of this because they don't have a true point guard. So they're gonna have to share the ball a lot. They're gonna have to share the ball, like if they want it to work. That's my.
Hopefully Sabonis' numbers don't go down either, right? Because having Zach Levine and Debo, who they're shoot first players.
Yeah. Maybe his assist just goes up. I don't think his like the way he plays, his thing won't go down. I think everything's gonna be there. His rebound's gonna be there. Everything's gonna be there. I just picture him. Now you have multiple guys you can pass to. Like it's just
Yeah.
Zach Levine's a slasher, you know.
Well,
So
hopefully Doug
well,
Christie does what he's supposed to do and makes Sabonis the focal point in the sense
yeah,
of saying everything runs through him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because we just had a debate on one of the segments about Rasheed being top 5 in the NBA today, and Sly doesn't believe that he would be top 5. Sly believes that he'd be mediocre because he never had a chance, or he never shown us that he could be a top 5 player. While me and Mills argued he's a 3-level scorer, plays defense. He was one of the first stretch fours. It's kind of hard not to think with the style of play today that he couldn't be a top 5 player. That's just my personal opinion.
top 5 player in today's game.
In today's game.
Well, after going back on Sheed's career, Sheed had no weaknesses. I just think the only thing I would give Sheed a knock on is was his his motivation for the game. I think he just slack off sometimes, but he had all the talent in the damn world. I think today's games, Sheed would kill most power forward, absolutely annihilate them.
Yeah.
I just think Sheed could have been at a higher level back in those days too, but I just think you know, he wasn't really motivated like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And we saw when she was on his game, there was no one really could stop him. And like you said, stretch the floor, defense. He was a great passer. Also, I mean, I would have to disagree with Fly on that